Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Generation Selects War for Cybertron Trilogy Black roritchi figure. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to unbox him live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We're then going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes. We're going to see how he compares with the original owner of this particular mould. I think I'm going to be brave enough to get the original Black roritchi out from my Black Zarak box, and so we can do a comparison with that. And I'm also going to get the new Generation Selects Black Zarak and see how he looks and displays with him as well. So quite a few things to do and loads of things to set up, obviously, as we carry on through this video. But what we need to do now is, very quickly, just before I open it, I need to thank Robot Recruits. So for the people who don't know who that is, that's an online shop in the UK, and that is pretty much who I get all of my new figures from. But this one is even better. This figure was a freebie just for buying and purchasing Generation Selects Black Zarak. So what a great free gift that was. We're going to quickly have a look at the packaging. It is the old Generation Selects box. And as you can see, it's not the most entertaining. It looks good. You can obviously tell that's the Autobot logo there. We've got the War for Cybertron Trilogy logo there, and we can see there that it is indeed Black roritchi. And yes, I've actually had this for quite some time, but just not had the time to get around to open this and even do the video, which is such a shame, because I really like the figure and I like the whole concept of it. And he's not packaged at all how I thought he would be. I thought he'd be the other way around, so that's completely surprised me. I'm loving the colour scheme on this guy. Of course, there's going to be no actual gold plastic syndrome to worry about with him. We've got his instructions in here as well. We've got the usual honeycomb, I suppose, graphics on the inside of the box. And all that's left for me to do is obviously set him free from there and come back and do some first impressions with you. Okay then, so I've took him out of the box and we're going to do some first impressions. And usually with first impressions, what I like to do is check out the articulation. But of course, because this guy is a weaponizer, he's pretty much got absolutely full, even better than normal articulation, because you can pull him apart and basically rearrange him however you want. But what we will do, we'll still have a quick look at him because I love the look of this. I think the paint scheme, the color scheme on it is just stunning. The head is brilliant. It is slightly retooled compared to Fast Track. If you have a quick look there at Fast Track, you can see that obviously the spikes on here are a bit more predominant. You can see that he's got two at the side and the one at the front, and if we spin it around at the back, it's much more, let's get it to focus, there we go, it's much more noticeable there than what it is with Fast Tracks there. So there is a slight difference with it. Again, the colour scheme works brilliantly with this. The gold is fantastic. It's a little bit darker than Black Zarak's. Funnily enough, the purple though does match up with the Titan class Scorponok. The blue here is brilliant, and this actually just gives it a bit of a metallic sheeny look. As I said, for articulation, look, you can turn it all the way around, you can pop it off, you can attach it wherever you want. We've just looked, the head will spin around, your waist will spin around, you can detach that. Your knee, well, the legs will go out to the front, the knee rock, ankle tilt, yep, and full rock again, full complete posability. What I do want to show you though is, because just in case you're picking this up on the second-hand market and you want to know that you've got all the pieces, I'll just literally pull them apart for you now to show you that. So we've got the spear part, which is brilliant. So I can show you a brilliant use for this in a second. In fact, I'll give you a bit of a tease now. When we put him in the alternate mode, you can attach a Titan Master and then he can pretty much sit there as a pilot. Is it going to focus? There we go. So we can have a look at that in a second, but let's have a look at all the other pieces then. So these purple blaster bits do come off, as you can see. The the arms, as you can see, do come off. And I suppose if you really wanted to, you could slot that out of there, but I'm not going to. It'd be pretty obvious if they were missing. With regards to the torso, you've got a midsection and this part here. So let me just take this piece off here ever so carefully. You can see this does slot out. Again, it's just a huge big, it's an official parts former, let's be honest. We've got that there. Make sure that it's got what they call this like an airlock, I suppose, connector. And if you have a look, if I can eventually get it out, that will connect up to other ramps and other play sets in the War for Cybertron trilogy, and indeed I think some of the G1 originals. You've got like a midsection here now, which again, if you wanted to, could pull apart. With regards to the legs, these pretty much do stay together. So you've got 2 legs, you've got 2 arms, you've got a torso part with the airlock on the underside, 2 purple guns. This does fold into 2 as well, so you need to make sure you've got that tab, and again a midsection there, and indeed the spear part. So that is all the pieces. What we're going to do now then, we're going to come back and he's going to be quickly built up into his alternate mode. Okay, so we're back, and as you can see, he's in his alternate mode already. Quick apology, no transformation on this video. The reason for that is to keep the main length of the video down, and it will be separately uploaded. Now, the cool thing about this is, again, it's pretty much a parts former. You can do, well, it is a parts former. You can use any sort of configuration you want. You can turn the arms that way round, that way round. You can take them off. You can swap the sides. There's just loads of things you can do. You can turn the head all the way around, etc. And there's a couple of pieces that I've intentionally left off, because what I want to do is a quick comparison for you, because I've gone and done something else rather silly. I've gone and took my original vintage roritchi out of the box, and I may have a go at sort of adjusting it. I'm definitely not going to be putting the gun in his hands. If you can see me now, I'm like this. It's the first time I've took him out of the box, so I just want to show you the comparison of the original, and I'm not going to go into much more detail with this. The funny thing is, I suppose the irony with this is that purple is matching exactly the Earthrise Scorponok mold, but what you can do, and what I'm going to show you, and I am going to, I suppose, have a bit of a play with, is this guy, because of course this is Fast Track, and this is who he was basically, again, remolded into Black Roritchi, and very similar to this, just with a different head sculpt. You can see there is the 2 small guns. On the original there would be the 2 small guns, but again, for obvious reasons, I am not going to be putting them into his hands. So you can see how that looks there, which is brilliant. And again, if you just imagine the guns in that, it is a perfect homage. Now I'm going to very carefully roll that out of the way, and this was the other little bit I was going to show you. So this is, I suppose, the spear, the spike going into the back of his head, and you can see we've got this cutout here, so you can get a Prime Master or a Titan Master, sits him in the back, and there you go. You've got him basically driving this, which I think, again, is brilliant. It's another little, I suppose, bonus, because I don't know if it's in the instructions, to be honest. I haven't seen it in the instructions. I'm just having a quick look at them in front of me, and it hasn't actually got them. So that's another great little use for these little figures that, I suppose, they weren't the greatest, but there you go. There's a few things that you can do with them. Right, what we're going to do now then, we're going to come back, we're going to do some comparisons with him in robot mode, and then I'm going to have a go at a couple of configurations where I can basically power up some normal figures with him. So here he is back in his robot mode, and again, looking great. So what I just quickly did want to show you is that, as I say, the blasters don't have to go there. They can go on the top of his shoulders. I think they look quite good there, to be honest. I've never even really thought about doing that. It was just something I was having a bit of a play with beforehand. But of course, the main way is always going to be a bit like this, because this again is, I suppose, his original one. And if we do take the original guy here, and then this is even simpler, we would just fold him up, fold the arms down like so, and then there is Fast Track. Now, do I or don't I? If it's on a video, then I don't know. I've had a look at this. It looks okay. Do you know what? I'm not gonna fold him up any higher. I'm just going to show you him from there. And again, there's the homage that we're seeing. So yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to move that. But there you go. That's not too bad. You can see it a little bit for the video, and I suppose I can only apologise, but hopefully you'll understand why I'm not going to take that guy any further. In fact, I'm going to move him totally out of the way for now, and I'm going to bring up, this is a newer version, but obviously, as I say, at the time of me making this video, this figure obviously is out, and you can see, I think they all look great. To be honest, I'm definitely going to, when it comes to be finally displaying, I'm going to be popping these in his hands like so, pretty much the same as the rest. It's a shame that there isn't another 5mm tab on the side where I could just attach that there. I suppose I could attach it in the back there if I wanted to, but I like things to look sort of symmetrical, and I can't really do that with this guy. It's got to go in one of the shoulders, so let's put it in the top one there. the same as the rest. What I am going to do now though, just for the last couple of segments of this video, is I'm going to break him down again into more pieces and just weaponize, power up a normal deluxe figure and show you some of the things that you can do with him. Okay then, so here is one of the modes, and believe you me, this is definitely one of the, I suppose, craziest modes, especially if I'll show you the pictures in the instructions, because it actually, you might not even believe me, but there is the picture of him holding this giant spear stroke trident, and the figure they've used is exhaust. As you can see, it says there as an example, but it's ginormous. Now, I don't even have exhaust anyway, but I do have this guy. I suppose has got a good, similar, well, better color scheme, like a nice Decepticon color scheme, and in fact, funnily enough, it's not going to work because you need to be able to twist the fist to be able to get him to hold onto this from a sideways sort of angle. But to give you an idea of how ridiculous it looks, you know what, I'm going to get it to balance, and I am going to get that to work unbelievably. I'm going to pan back ever so slightly, and you can see that it doesn't really work with deluxe figures, but it would work okay with this guy. So I could put it in Black Zarak's hands, but funnily enough, he's obviously already got his trident spear, which I think was one of the big giveaways. As soon as we realized that fast track could be a trident or a sort of spear as well, I thought we realized that we were going to get yeah, Black Zarak. But anyway, that is one of the modes. I'm going to now do the other mode, which you can see here in the instructions, and power him up by turning him into two huge over the shoulder, I suppose, cannons. Let's have a look at that now as well then. Okay then, we're back for the final time, and this is the other way that it's got illustrated in the instructions, and it is ridiculous, but it does to some degree look okay. So you've got, I suppose, part of his torso there is a shield with a spike, and let's be honest, you've just got him all folded out there, coming over the back as a huge set of dual cannons. Now, of course, the only problem with this is it can make him a little bit top heavy, but as you can see, even on carpet, he does still balance. So this is where I'm pretty much going to conclude the review. I've obviously got a few of these, I suppose, weaponizers now building up, so I am going to attempt, when I get a bit of time, to see if I can do something combining them all and try and get a bit creative, which is of course one of the best things about these. But yeah, I'm glad I've finally managed to do the review on him. I do think he's great, and again, I think at the moment he's very topical because we are getting a lot more interest in the Japanese continuity of Generation 1 figures. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think of him. Have you got him? And indeed, if you've got any crazy or fantastic, even whatever, I'm sure they're all good ideas, and if you'd like to send them to my Instagram, what I will do is I will feature them on my news update weekly videos. So send me some pictures on Instagram if you like. If you've got some great ideas, I'll try and replicate them, and of course I'll share your images and promote you as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care.